Hello everyone, in this short video I will show you in a practical example how introducing RabbitMQ can make your processing more efficient, so let's jump right into it. We can see here the description of the problem. So some upstream service produces messages to some Kafka topic. These messages contain data required to make some calculations by some service. These calculations may take minimum 10 seconds and maximum 2 hours. Let's say we have an informal non-functional requirement to process messages as quickly as possible, so we should do our best to meet this requirement. We assume that the processing of a single message which is related to perform calculations is optimized. We also assume that we cannot remove some Kafka topic because that is the source of our messages for processing. Here is an example of an ineffective process flow. So at the left side we have some Kafka topic. We have 4 partitions in this topic. On 2 of them we have no messages, and on 2 of them we have a few messages. The red messages are messages with long processing time, from 1 hour to 2 hours. The green ones are messages with short processing time, from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. At the right side we have some service, and we have 4 instances of this service. Each of these instances has a Kafka consumer, and each of these consumers is assigned to a partition of some Kafka topic. We can see here that we are consuming messages from some Kafka topic, and we are processing these messages here by performing time-consuming calculations. So what is the problem here? We can see that we are unable to process messages using all available instances of some service when there are no messages on some partitions. In this case, we don't have any messages on the partitions with numbers 1 and 3. In Kafka, only one consumer can process messages from a partition within one consumer group. This is due to Kafka's architecture, and it is perfectly fine in many cases. In this case, we won't process these messages as quickly as possible if there are instances of some service which don't process any message in this kind of situation. So, what can we do to process these messages more effectively? We can copy every message from some Kafka topic to some RabbitMQ queue, and we can utilize all instances of some service to process all messages from the queue in parallel. This solution will be free from the disadvantages of the previous solution, and we can meet the informal non-functional requirement to process messages as quickly as possible by adding RabbitMQ to our process. If you want to process messages faster, we can simply increase the number of instances of some service. Here is an example of an improved process flow. I have to zoom out a little bit. So at the left side we can see the same situation. We still have some Kafka topic with the same messages here, and we are still consuming these messages from some Kafka topic by some service. We have still 4 instances of this service, but now we are not performing any time-consuming calculations here at the first stage of this improved process. We just copy these messages from some Kafka topic to some RabbitMQ queue. So this is very simple operation at the first stage of this improved process. At the second stage, we process messages from some RabbitMQ queue in parallel using all instances of some service. So we do perform required calculations here, so it can be time consuming. And this is perfectly fine because all instances are processing some message at the moment. At the third stage of this process, messages with numbers 1 and 3 were consumed, so we can start process messages with numbers 5 and 6 using instances of some service with numbers 1 and 3. Messages with numbers 2 and 4 are still being processed because these messages are very time consuming. At the fourth stage of this process, all messages are already processed and all instances of some service are waiting for new messages on some Kafka topic. So we can see that there are no messages on some Kafka topic, there are no messages on some RabbitMQ queue, so we are just waiting for new messages on some Kafka topic. Here is the explanation, so if you don't understand some blocks above, you can check these descriptions. So we can see now that in some situations we can improve our overall performance by using an appropriate technology like RabbitMQ. I hope this video was helpful for you, and now we'll consider using RabbitMQ or alternative solutions like Amazon SQS in similar situations. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.